Kathy Rosenthal with the Wyoming Association of Conservation Districts. I'm here today with Carrie Rogaszewski, District Manager of the Sheridan County Conservation District. Carrie, can you tell us a little bit about what landowners living on a small acreage can do and what the Conservation District can do to help those landowners?
For the most part, the natural resource concerns on a small acreage are similar to those on a large acreage. The objective in both cases is to reduce the amount of pollutants that enter a stream system either through direct sources or indirect sources such as runoff. The main difference would be a matter of scale. The small acreage producer has less land area, which reduces his management options and flexibility. The challenge then is to increase our awareness for these small acreage producers so that they know what programs and options are available for them.
So we're actually on a particular project here today. Can you give us a little bit about the background of this project?
Sure. In 2010, the landowner, J.R. Moore, approached the district with a bank erosion concern on 5 Mile Creek. 5 Mile Creek is a tributary to the Tongue River and was listed for bacteria in 2002 based on monitoring done by the district. Excess sediment, which can come from bank erosion or other sources, has been identified as one of the potential contributors to our bacteria concerns in these watersheds. When we first visited the site with JR, it was unclear whether the bank erosion was caused by an unstable stream channel or if there was something else going on. So the district, we requested assistance from Paul Starkey, retired civil engineering technician from the USDA Natural Resources Conservation Service, to help us evaluate the stream system and look at other potential resource concerns on the site.
We also have Paul Starkey and the landowner J.R. Moore with us here today. Thank you both for taking the time to come out and talk with us. Paul, can you discuss a little bit about your initial meeting out here with J.R.?
Of course, the first thing that meets the eye is the eroding vertical banks. I asked J.R. to work through a tool called the Visual Assessment Protocol to help address some of the concerns and maybe prioritize some of the work to improve it. One of the first things that came to light was that the stream is entrenched. There's a head cut that's moving through the system, and that causes a lot of the visual things, the vertical banks and the erosion. We recognize that we need to be able to manage the riparian vegetation separately from the uplands. In order to do that, we'll build a fence to keep the animals out of the stream. In order to better manage the uplands, we built some cross fences in so that we could provide for a rotational grazing system and allow the grasses, the pasture grasses, to rest and help in reseeding.
What were the benefits of working with someone like Paul and the conservation districts on a project like this?
Working with Carrie and Paul, we learned a lot about what's happening to land erosion, taking care of the riparian area, increasing production. We were able to find out through Carrie and Paul some assistance that we could get with some funding, and the funding to just improve the habitat, improve the creek, improve the riparian area, help reduce the cut bank. The whole project's just been a real learning experience and an education that I was able to receive from Paul and Carrie has been very valuable to me.
So Carrie, can you provide a little bit of information about those particular practices that will be applied here?
The overall goal will be to reduce the amount of pollutants from this area that enter the stream system. That's the first objective. Improving the riparian corridor and improving the forage production on the uplands here will help us achieve that goal. Providing a water source is also part of the project. When you eliminate the water source from the stream and/or divide the pasture into multiple other areas, you need to provide water to those sources. All of these practices combined may also help the stream banks heal themselves over time without any direct intervention on our part.
funding sources are available for a project or projects like this, and what sources are out there to help a landowner like JR? Or does he have to pay for these improvements himself?
The Conservation District does have a cost share program for projects that benefit water quality, regardless of the size of the operation or the type of residence. These programs are funded through a variety of sources, including federal grants and state grants, and depending on the type of project, the district can provide anywhere from 50 to 80% cost share. The Conservation District Board does require a minimum of 20% match from a landowner on these types of projects. That match does not have to be cash. It can be in-kind services, materials, or labor, but the board did want to ensure that the landowner had some investment in the project. The budgeted costs for this particular project include 51% from Clean Water Act Section 319 funds, 29% from the Wyoming Department of Agriculture, and 20% from the landowner.
Carrie and Paul, what benefits to water quality do you see from the outcome of this project?
From the district standpoint, anything we can do to improve the quality of the vegetation on the uplands, improve the quality and quantity of vegetation in the riparian corridor is going to be a benefit to water quality. In order to see long-term improvements in the water quality in our streams, we know that depends on a lot of widespread, small-scale projects such as this one.
To me, it's really difficult to quantify water quality. Having the land in balance with the needs of the landowner, that's what it's all about. The water quality will improve automatically.
Thank you, Paul and Carrie, as well as to the landowner, JR, for being here today and showing how this project has evolved, as well as to show the steps that other small acreage owners could take to improve water quality on their places. Thanks to all of you for joining us today. I hope you learned something about projects that can be implemented on small acreages. If you have any questions about this particular small acreage project, please contact the Sheridan County Conservation District, or for other similar projects like this or other best management practices, please contact the Wyoming Association of Conservation Districts or visit our website at conservewy.com.